What's poppin', y'all? This is Deidre with One Shot Game, man. You already know how the motto go. You get one shot at life, but a lifetime to learn all the game you need to help improve your life. The choice is yours on which direction you want to go. You can either take the love route or you can take the destructive route. The choice is really up to you. You know what I'm saying? So listen, before I get into the title of my video, I want to say a big shout out to all my supporters. You guys are great. So look, the title of this video is going to be on the fact that when it comes down to making business decisions, if you've never made business decisions before, you can get trapped in the world of manipulation that comes with making business deals. You got to think, you know what I'm saying? Oftentimes people don't understand spirituality, but spirituality is life. So if you understand yourself and you take what you have been through in your life and you apply it going forward, that'll be able to help you with that wisdom avoid certain situations, especially when it comes to business. Because you got to think about it like this. Business is basically in the best interest of the person presenting the business plan. You know what I'm saying? So if their business strategy is to make you sign the deal no matter what, you have absolutely no idea what you're signing if you're not negotiating and reading contracts and being truthful. That's just how I see it, because you got to really think about it on a spiritual level. When a person is involved in business, it's more so anything means necessary to get the signature on the dotted line as far as incorporating the business and funding the business, which means it's a art of finesse. It's an art of manipulation. It's an art of negotiation. So if you do not know who you are when it comes down to engaging in a business offer, oftentimes that person with the business plan can hit something in your life that maybe is something you haven't grew or worked on. For instance, maybe it might be your finances, maybe it might be your self-esteem, maybe it might be something related to something you're still working on or growing in, and that will make a person get to the bottom of the barrel and almost persuade you and finesse you into signing a deal that can potentially have long-term effects if you're not concrete on what you stand on in your business. You get what I'm saying? So listen, you got to think about it like this. Like, it's people in the world who are very talented and very gifted, but it's also a dark side that comes to that, which means they have to grow, they have to deal with storms, they have to weather the darkness, they got to go up with negativity. Like, they have to be able to prepare themselves to be able to face the battle that comes with making sure anybody that comes up against them as far as making a negotiation when it comes to their talent and what they do as being someone that is gifted and can make life work for them instead of them working for life. Everybody wants to zone in on that. Everybody wants to capitalize off of that. Everybody wants to make profit off of that, period. Because again, no disrespect to anyone, but everyone doesn't have that ability. And so you got to think about the ones that are the hunters doing the hunting. They're basically scoping those ones out. And so they do whatever they can to get up under their skin, hit insecurities, whatever, to get you to come over to this side so that I can have control over you instead of you having control over yourself. It's done all the time in businesses. You got to really think about it. Anybody that's going through a hardship right now, that has a gift, that's talented, they're basically, if not all of them, are pushing their talent and their gift out there to be able to be discovered so that they can make money. You know what I'm saying? And not understanding the mission behind it, which is you have to understand your brain and how it works from coming out of survival mode to getting into a business position. You don't want to make a business deal or sign on a dotted line and sign your life away off of your God-given craft or talent solely because you broke and you don't got no money. You know what I'm saying? Like, people don't be understanding. You got to read that contract. Oftentimes, like, you got to really think about it. The industry is crumbling down for the simple fact a lot of people in the industry used people for, you know what I'm saying, their traumas, their pain, and their insecurities, and made money off of them due to their talent, because it was going to appeal to a wide range of audience of people who are also going through trauma. You know what I'm saying? But you have to know the value in yourself so that you don't get played. That's how a lot of people be going broke. You know what I'm saying? Because they basically put their success and who they were in somebody else's hands instead of being persistent and understanding that you do not sign that first deal. You look all over all paperwork. You make sure that you sign it in the best interest for yourself. And because people don't like that, because they basically came up with a business plan to, you know, capitalize off of you, they'll do whatever they can to finesse and manipulate you and your lifestyles and your traumas to get you to sign, so that in the long run, if you don't read, you know what I'm saying, or you're destined on a certain path, they already know that, and they're going to capitalize off of that. You know what I'm saying? But and you got to really think about it. A lot of those people that used people for that are going to get stronger basically by pretending as if they're all spiritual now when they haven't. They just evaluated into a new energy and studied it, and are able to compare to people who are not doing the work in themselves, but just taking on the energy and now evolving into being spiritual people. But they don't want to do none of the work that hurts behind the scenes. And people who, again, like I said, hunters who hunt the hunted, you know what I'm saying, know that, because it's a spiritual game. It's not a physical game. So you got to really think deep down. You know what I'm saying? So that whole reason why I thought I should elaborate on this topic is because it's at a point in life where people will ignore what you say. They will finesse you out of who you are to get you to accommodate them. So you have to be the type of person that asks questions, you know what I'm saying? Get to know down to the meat and potatoes. Like, and that just stems from just being real, how I was brought up. You know what I'm saying? Of people who will say they have your best interest and then end up doing you dirty behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? Someone that I say they're going to do this for you and then end up finessing you. So as you take wisdom from that circumstance in life, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people that had troubled lifestyles getting to a successful person, you dealt with that. But if you're not taking the wisdom from that, or you turned into that, you know what I'm saying? It becomes a little tricky. You know what I'm saying? People will say things to you to undermine your intelligence. People will do things to you to try to undermine your intelligence. And see, the difference with me and probably other people is I let you dig the hole for the ditch that you gonna fall in after I get to asking you questions because you try to manipulate me. So not only am I gonna have you dig the hole, you're gonna fall in it. Because what you didn't think to understand is the fact that a lot of people are solely underestimating people for the rights of the business, which means I'm very skilled at making business deals, which means I can almost get anyone to get a business deal regardless of what they say. You know what I'm saying? And you got to stand 10 toes on what you talking about, being about, you know what I'm saying? And understand and know that if you are basically going into a business plan solely for the money, you're going to get played in the long run. And let me give an example when I say that. Shout out to Sister Soldier. Man, if you read books, and one of your genres is hood, you have to have read The Coldest Winter Ever. If you didn't, you don't read for real. You feel me? Because that's one of the coldest books in the game. And it is legendary. And probably still legendary to this day. I'm pretty sure it is. You know what I'm saying? Listen, phenomenal writer. You know what I'm saying? I don't have the new book yet, but I'm looking forward to it. But I read the one before. I have the one in my possession before that she just released. You know what I'm saying? And I watched an interview she did on the Breakfast Club, and she was asked if she would do a series on The Coldest Winter Ever, and people were hyped up. People were looking forward to that, including myself, you know what I'm saying, for something that was never done. And then you just kind of fade off after a while. But she said the reason why she did not agree with, you know what I'm saying, putting that out as a series or a movie is because the contracts that were presented to her basically were trying to capitalize off of The Coldest Winter Ever, but stop her creative process. Meaning she couldn't write no other books. She had to freeze certain projects she was doing and stay in that one contract thing until it all was, you know what I'm saying, finished, and they did whatever they were going to do with it. So what that does is that stops a person from potentially working with somebody else or doing something for somebody else based off of their own creativity. That's her mind. That's how she think. That's how she write her books. That's all her. You can't take that from her. So why would people think it is okay to present someone with a contract to capitalize off of their talent but stop them from including themselves in business ventures? So I agree. Even though, listen, I think everybody is anticipating a coldest winter ever series, but you got to have the right contract for the simple fact she's very intelligent. She reads everything, and that's not somebody you could play. You know what I'm saying? Her name speaks for itself. I love the interview. Shout out to the Breakfast Club. You know what I'm saying? Sister Soldier speaks for itself. She is not one, you feel me, you can finesse, fandango, manipulate, you know what I'm saying? But she has a talent. Listen, she has one of the best books of all time. If you read, for real, it is a classic, and it's one you can read over and over again. And the Midnight series as well. I've read majority of the books except for this recent one that she just wrote, and I'm doing my best to try to get my hands on it. I don't like ebooks. I like actual books. Reading them puts my mind in a state. You know what I'm saying? Listen to it is for me. I can easily get distracted if I'm not closely paying attention. But when I get my head in the book, it's a different. But anyway, before I go too off the topic, the meaning of me saying that is the fact that you got to really dig deep and understand that some people make business deals solely for the benefit of others, but due to whatever they need at the time. So they take it and then, again, like I said, dig a ditch and then trip into it. And it stops your creative process because now you're dealing with a whole new background of things that you never incorporated in your life. Like it's a difference coming from working and hustling and all that, and then going into an area where now you have to sign contracts and business deals basically based off of, you know what I'm saying, a creative talent that you have. If you're not smart and you're not on your toes, you're gonna get played fast. You know what I'm saying? We've seen it happen a lot where rappers have that one hit, that one album, and you feel me? The rest after that just is trash. Growing up in the era I grew up in, a lot of us burned CDs. And every song on that burnt CD was going to be a hit for the simple fact that that person would come out with a hit and make an album, and the album would be trash. And then those 2-3 songs they have as singles will be the only popping songs on the album, but the rest, it was not hits at all. You know what I'm saying? And so you didn't listen, it just gets technical. So in my era, a lot of people burnt CDs because every song, we don't have to skip songs. You know what I'm saying? It's a different era now, but I'm just saying for that era, you know? So when a person has an album that's cracking, listen, that means you took the time, you elevated, you know who you are, you're being smart, you're not, you feel me, allowing anyone to play you, and it requires work from behind the scenes of working on yourself. So, you know what I'm saying, is just an observation of what I see on the internet, on social media. A lot of people are having their life fall down behind the scenes, and so they have a creative idea or a creative project and they're pushing it extra hard on social media so that they could be able to, you know what I'm saying, stop doing whatever it is behind the scenes, not realizing that it takes time for your brain to grow to be able to understand what happens in that world versus what you're used to. You know what I'm saying? For instance, the owner of Instagram keep trying to get people who have a certain amount of followers to get a blue check. I disagree with getting the blue check for the simple fact it does not validate your account being acknowledged or solid. For the simple fact, I've seen people who have paid to have blue checks and only have 200 to 300 followers. For anyone that's over 10,000 that doesn't have a blue check, that's your evidence to show that you don't have to have a blue check to acquire the authenticity of your account to get people to follow you. So it's insufficient evidence. And you have the ability to use your own mind, you can see that. I see a lot of accounts with big numbers that don't have a blue check. because that's $10 every month in your pocket to validate who I am and what I have to offer. That's dumb to me. No shame. Get your money. You know what I'm saying? But to the people who are wise enough to understand that I refuse to pay somebody $10 for the authenticity of my own account, because what I bring to it is being authentic and being real. And that is why my followers have grew to a substantial amount. But people in the business world want to capitalize off of that. So every now and then you'll see them throw out, oh, if your account will be much better if you're meta verified. It applies to Facebook and all that. Listen, it's just a new system designed to capitalize off of people, because they're seeing that it's a new wave of different successes that people still want to have their hand and foot in. But you know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to help people in the background understand that it's work that comes behind a successful project. Even if you push it every day and sponsor it every day and you get the blue check, you know what I'm saying? If you're not doing the work behind the scenes, you're not going to be able to see a substantial amount of growth, because of the simple fact, if you're trying to get your mindset out of a, you know what I'm saying, hustler type of, you know, survival mode mentality, and then you go into a room filled with people who are business minded, you are going to crumble at the first contract they make you sign. And people in there know that. That's why the most people who are gullible are the ones who just take on the energy and don't do the work behind the scenes. But you feel me, the people that are actually doing the work behind the scenes are strong enough inside themselves to know, hey, I've been played before, I've been finessed before, I've been lied to before. You know what I'm saying? So there's no way I'm going to allow someone to come in and finesse me with some money. I've been broke before. I've had it all before. There's like nothing that you can try to, you feel me, finesse me with to make me sign something to capitalize off of me in the benefit of yourself. You know what I'm saying? And people got to look at it a little bit deeper. You know what I'm saying? Is you just see it everywhere. People are pushing their songs. People are doing this. People are, you feel me? And it's nothing wrong with owning on your creativity. But it's also, you got to think about it. A main reason why a lot of us didn't have the ability to zone in on our creativity in the past is because we had a certain way of thinking, which stopped us from understanding who we are to create. So now that everybody is a creator of some sort, you have to be able to pinpoint the ones out that have only took on the energy and they're not doing the work, and then the ones that are doing the work in the process and actually took on the energy at the same time, because it's a process. You know what I'm saying? Some people will get finessed. I'm just saying. The ones that claim to be spiritual, that's not really spiritual, that have some type of idea, but they're in it really for the money, they're going to get finessed. They're going to get them to sign on dotted line for a big amount of money, and in 2 to 3 years, they're going to look up and be broke. You know what I'm saying? And your mind is now going to be controlled by someone that has you under control instead of you controlling yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's a a business-minded game that you have to be able to play with evolution, time, and growing. So as you figure that out, you'll grow more in yourself and you'll understand how to negotiate. Words of Nip, never sign the first one. Always do your negotiation and, you feel me, understanding behind backing up who you are. He released his first debut album on his own label because of his experience with doing the deal the first time. You know what I'm saying? People are really reckless. They want to capitalize off of your talent and your gifts solely because they have a business mind, but not the talent to back it up. And so they have someone that comes along that's business minded and have talent there. We need to make money off of that. So what if it ends them in a ditch? As long as we capitalize off of that. That's the way the world is played these days. It's not going to change. It's going to get better. It's going to elevate. But you got to understand, it's still going to be some people that, you know what I'm saying, have already chose a side. And because they chose that side, no matter how good they try to dress it up, they're still doing it for the advantage of themselves. You know what I'm saying? So this is just a wise warning to people out there that are so eager to get out of their situation and make money that they're signing anything. They're pushing anything. They're believing anything instead of believing in themselves. When you have the ability to believe in yourself, you will be aware of people trying to play you and finesse you. You feel me? Because of them trying to get up in the game. It's dirty. And it can get real spunky. You know what I'm saying? And listen, let me tell you something. The physical world is very different from the spiritual world. And like I always say, the hunters know what to look for in the hunted. So they know exactly what to do, exactly what to say, exactly what to look over to finesse you into doing something that they want you to do. So you have to be on it. You got to be, sharp. That just comes from my experience. I experienced today. Someone was trying to over talk what I was saying. You feel me? Like I would bring out certain points and I would say certain things. And it was like that was not crossing the threshold of them understanding. They just took out what they could and still tried to get the amount to a lower amount every time instead of listening to what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? I had to keep revising that until the point was finally gotten. But people that have certain business-minded mentalities in life, solely power dominates from them securing the deal. Not trying to understand a person's intelligence. Not trying to understand how smart a person could be because you're observing what you see just by appearance. I'm a very attractive, sexy woman with the mind of a man. So if you think you're going to come over here and try to play me or finesse me in any type of way, that's where you get lost in the mist. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of women are having that ability, and men are underestimating it due to their way of thinking. Women are not supposed to have that. Women are not supposed to use that. We're going to do whatever we can to quiet them, undermine them, overlook what they're saying so that we can have the power and control. That time is over. You know what I'm saying? And listen, you can come at it with a compassionate heart. I'm not better than nobody else. I'm not trying to undermine or overpower your position at all. It's enough room for everybody, but don't come over here try to insult my intelligence. That's where the problem is. You're not supposed to do that to people because you just never know who you're doing that to. You know what I'm saying? And it gets real. A lot of women in life are underestimated. You know what I'm saying? Solely because they're women. Which is crazy, right? Right. So, when dealing with business deals at all, the growth that you're doing is not in the talent, but in the growth behind the scenes, because the real world is very spiritual and people make moves based off of spirituality and basically making sure that they are one up over you. But if you're very creative and talented and you have a mind of your own and you stand on boundaries and principles, you will understand and be able to see when you're being finessed and manipulated. And you got to think, oftentimes they know you see it, but they'll still do whatever they can to throw the ball in the basket. So you got to be able to, you feel me, defense every time until you get down to the bottom and they don't have nothing left to negotiate. Yeah, because you ran out of all your plays. Because you tried to get me and you didn't. So now I'm waiting for you to, you know what I'm saying, fall in the ditch that you dug for yourself. Because you thought you was going to make me fall in the ditch that you dug for me. Wrong idea. You know what I'm saying? So it's very understanding of doing the work all around. Never settle. Understand and know that if you're a strong-willed person, you can make life work for you to where you don't have to work for life or work for people. Because people sometimes don't have the right intentions for you and what you present. So it's best if you build it from the ground up. And it may take you a little longer, you know what I'm saying? And that's okay. Patience is everything. But when it plans out, you will know that, you feel me, people gonna know how to respect you and treat you when that time comes. Don't come over here with what you do to any other person or female, male. That absolutely not. And that comes with work. You know what I'm saying? So listen, I don't want to get too off this to the left or sidetracked, but it's just to the newly formed content creators, newly formed talented people, newly formed people that are wanting the idea of being successful, the money, the glamour, everything that comes behind it, but are not understanding that in spirituality is a dark side. And if you know how to understand that dark side, you'll be able to better handle someone trying to use their dark side on you. And then you end up getting trapped in whatever they have for your life. Now you've tied yourself to that person. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that. Protect your energy. Protect who you are. Read. Problem solve. Analyze. Let them dig the ditch. Give them a shovel. Let them take the dirt out. And then on the last play, let them trip over their feet and fall in the ditch. You know what I'm saying? Because they thought they had them won, but they didn't. So you have to be very aware and knowledgeable and mindful of what's going on in the world today, because a lot of people are just getting more skilled in elevating of who they really are, which means if they're dark people, they're still operating in the dark. Some people have the ability to change, and they will. But some people still operate in the dark. They're just in a new energy. So now they're taking spirituality and using it against other people instead of using it for themselves. And that'll easily get you to fall in the hole. You don't want to do that to yourself, do to someone else. If you're going to dig a ditch and fall in a hole, at least dig your own ditch. Go to Home Depot, get the shovels, and dig the own ditch for yourself. Don't let nobody dig the ditch for you. You know what I'm saying? So listen, if you don't know what it is, I just told you. Please make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe.